So good evening, sir. So in this video, I am going to demonstrate how to configure Active Directory in server 2012 and how to join Windows 7 to the created domain. So before I walk you through, I have used two virtual machines, which is Windows 7, the the Windows server as my server and Windows 7 as my client. So I just in had configured a 4 GB memory for my Windows server and not as our network, so on so forth with the other specs. And for the Windows 7, I had 3 GB of memory and 40 GB of this allocated. So let's boot up these virtual machines and we'll wait for it to boot up. So for the meantime, I'll pause this video. So our Windows server has now boot up. So let's send this to control of delete to the machine. So as you can see, I have now an account to this. Let's log in to my account, my administrator account. So let's go to server manager and I will walk you through to the server that I created. So as you can see, I have here a local server and let's wait for the ADDS or the active domain system to boot up. It's actually loading. So as you can see, my computer name is Earthquake and I have a domain name of mylab.local. So first thing first is in order to create a local server is we will configure the Ethernet into a static IP address. So as you can see, I have already configured into a static IP address with the following information. So I get this information in my virtual private network. This is where I set up in order to get those information linked together because they have this. So for my BMnet 8, so as you can see, my subnet IP is as .234. So within this range, it so it's just that within this range, I can input my IP address with the subnet mask of this range. So that's it. That's how I configure in order for my Windows server to communicate or to function correctly because that's where the other users, other groups had some technical errors. So that's it. Afterwards, so as you can see, I have already installed an Active Directory domain system. and it is pushed through to the server, earthquake, my computer name, and then that's it. So the day I am going to go through to the ADUC, or the Active Directory users and computers, where I'll be able to set the users and my client. So let's wait. It's actually loading. So as you can see, I have here my fellow co-members, Charles Diaz, Harley, Jade, Jane, and Franz as my co-members with the default password of @users at user 123. So that's my default password. So I have already configured. So this the users. Let's set example for this account. Created the logon name with my domain name, and as logon name in the server, I mean in the client as this one. So I have configured it to have user cannot change password and password never expires to each of my co-members. So that's it. That applies to the other members or the other users. For the computers, I have this, the Windows client. I actually connected it already. My Windows 7 client. So let's wait for this. It has some technical errors. So let's restart. So let's wait for this client to boot up. For the meantime, allow me to pause. So my Windows client now boot up. So let's send another link to this machine. So you can see it is now connected with the default password of each users. So let's sign in the users I created. So this one, Jade Arreglo. Let's sign in the account with a user login name of Jade and the password. Okay, let's sign in and the password as. So as you can see, it now logins. And how do I do that? I do that through connecting my Windows 7 client to the Windows Server. First, I connect my network to the same default gateway at onto this Windows Server. So here I have configured this into static IP address. Since I am now connected, so I will log in my administrator account in order to configure this and show you. So my IP4, this is the following IP address set in order to connect to the other Windows server. So as you can see, it has the same range 234 and the default gateway of 234 and this dot 2 because that is where my virtual private this is where my virtual network editor is configured. So If I am going to ping that, I I can have ping 192.168.234.10. So I can, as you can see, I have replies with the server. So that's it. So the question is, how do I connect this? So I connect this through here to computer name and to change settings. And I just log on my administrator account, my Windows Server account, administrator, and my password, and then it will add some active dialog that you are now connected to the domain that you created. So that's it. That's how I configured my Windows Server to join with my client Windows Server. So do you want to allow the following programs to make changes? So let's just add on my administrator password. I already promoted this and took the necessary steps and achieved this one. So that's it. As you can see, I am now connected to my lab.local, and now they are communicating with each other. I can also switch to users, to different users that I created. Can actually create at user 2. So that's how it goes. So that's it. So that's how it works. This is my client, and I can configure this. I can reset, I can disable or whatever, or delete these computers into my server, as well as take some actions with the different users. So that's how Windows Server works. So that's it, sir. Thank you.